Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Hello! I'm copying Catherine right here because she has hello and hearts. Hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here. Alice, also, hello. Today is Tuesday, which you know what that means. We have a live show, and here I am, and there you are. And isn't it great to be together again? Always great to be together. Mark has been gone for 10 days. He finally got home last night. I am so glad to have him home. It's a funny thing, isn't it? A conundrum. It's so nice sometimes to be able to have a little bit of time to yourself. And if you know, you know. And then on the other hand, it's so nice when your beloved comes back. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Aren't you so sweet? I'm actually clean. I took it. You know what? At this point, I used to be able to just roll in and wash my face and come and do the show, but the amount of sweat from pickleball just is not going to allow that anymore. So I had to come home, peel off the sweaty clothes, and take a shower. So I'm all clean. You're welcome. Like you needed to know that, right? Anyway, the nails. There's a story on the nails, Catherine. There's a story on the nails. I'm going to tell you the story. And it all has to do with today's show. Seriously. It all has to do with today's show. So buckle up because this is going to be a big one. And the notes that I have are not nearly as intense of the notes that I usually have. I just have some bullet points here and I'm just going to riff. So forgive me if I don't get where I want to go as fast as I usually would. Okay. Just saying all of that. We are getting ready to start Take Back Your Body, by the way. If you're into that. Now, Take Back Your Body is, it's an interesting thing because Take Back Your Body is kind of a phrase that came to me when I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired, back in 2014, I want to say. And the whole thing was, I just want to take my body back. I felt like I had given it away to aliens or something because I felt so terrible. And I wanted it back. I wanted it in my control, under my house, my roof. I wanted to have that feeling again of being myself. I didn't feel like myself. And there's a lot that goes into taking back your body. Yes, of course, what's at the end of your fork is very, ultimately one of the most important things. But until you fix what's between your ears, it ain't happening. And I promise you that as somebody who has been, a card-carrying member of the diet culture for years, it will not happen. And you'll just be on that carousel crazy of just trying another diet and doing this and trying this. And, oh, this is the answer and this, that, and the other thing. And it's just not. It's just not. I promise you that it's just not. And it's more than just saying, okay, so, get this part. There are things that we need to go through in our journey to this place of wholeness. And that's what this is about. So we're doing Take Back Your Body 2024. We are integrating into it also the carousel of crazy because they all just gel and fit and all of that. So I'm inviting you to this, and that's at savingdinner.com/body. Now, there are hot seats. It is intense, and it is something that if you're sick and tired of just being sick and tired and you want to get your body back and you're tired of having your mind just constantly ruminating on, why can't I get this together? Why can't I get that together? Why am I eating this? Why am I doing that? Why am I not getting up off the couch to exercise? Why? and the beating up part. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So that's what this is all about. If you're interested, savingdinner.com/body. There's my girl, Martha. Hi. Good to have you here. So we're gonna that I'm really excited about that. All the details are going to be at that link that I just gave you, savingdinner.com/body. And we are starting, I guess, is that next week? No, not next week, but the week after, June 11th. That's on a Tuesday. It's going to be good. It will not disappoint. And I promise you, you will have my full attention, and I'm going to be with you every step of the way. Okay. That's a promise. So take back your body. If you have next Tuesday, is it next Tuesday? What's today? I can't keep up. Oh, it's the 4th. Yeah, I guess it is. It is next Tuesday. How's June already going fast? I don't know. Okay, next Tuesday. So that's something to be looking out for. Also, I just decided to do a pop-up Hot Melt 30. Hello, Jackie. I'm glad you're here. Hot Melt 30. Now, my Hot Melt 30, man, I love this program because it is a kind of a mini, shall we say, experience of take back your body in a much more abbreviated way, because we embrace several of the principles that we need. So what I want you to do is go to savingdinner.com/30, THIRTY. If you have already gotten your guide, like maybe a few years ago, you've got, then just start. Just give it a start, And the other thing is, today is the 4th. 1 month from now is July 4th. If you start today or you start tomorrow, you can get those 30 days in. We don't have to be perfectionists about this. We just have to do things excellently, right? Anyway, I really invite you in on this, just simply because, gosh, darn it, don't we all need this? It kind of helps to straighten us out. The other thing is, besides that, we also have our, by the way, there's, you get the Hot Melt 30, you can get the kits for a 25% off instead of 15% off. That's just right now. That's going to be gone shortly. So, even if you're not doing a kit, for heaven's sakes, to save some money, savingdinner.com/30. That's where you're going to find it. There's a girl, Jocelyn. She's in the house, y'all. And the other thing is, and did you see my email about organic ACV? I want you to know about this. I want you to use this. This is one of the most effective little supplements, just flying under the radar, right? Just flying right under the radar. It's going to help you with your blood sugar. It's going to help you with your digestion. It's going to help you with your belly fat, for heaven's sakes. It is going to help you even with your blood pressure. There's so many things that this has been so well studied. And if you're like me and you just cannot stand the taste of ACV, it makes me want to hurl. Sorry, I just can't. So that's why we have this, and it works. Fabulous. Take 2 right before a meal. Honestly, it's wonderful. One of my favorite things. So buy one, get one free. That's savingdinner.com/ACV. All you have to do is stick one in your cart. We'll do the rest. That's a promise. And then lastly is our quote of the week. It's a zinger. It's always a zinger, right? We have great quotes. The quote of the week is this: every morning you have 2 choices: to continue to sleep with your dreams or to wake up and chase them. How good is that? I love that. Now, but here's the thing about it, and work with me on this. I have been in a funk. Give me some pinkies up if you've ever been in the funk. You know what I'm talking about. Where it's just like, it's not quite depression, usual self. You feel a little bit, it might be bright and sunny outside, but you're not feeling bright and sunny inside. You might be feeling a little wah-wah. You know what I'm talking about. And when we're in this place of funk, and again, I'm not talking about depression. I'm not really qualified to talk about clinical depression and how to treat it and all of that. I froze up. Did you see that? I froze up. on my own screen. Anyway, but if you've been through any kind of a funk or any kind, even maybe depression light is a funk, I don't know. But it's this feeling that your feet are made of cement and just you're slogging through the day. It's not you're not your usual self. You don't feel like you. And I'm going to tell you the reason why this happened, and it is a mind blower. It is such a mind blower, and I'm going to tell a little story about it and more. And the red nails are involved. So the reason, I don't know why all of a sudden I just was like, wow, I don't feel good. I'm not my usual self. I'm in a funk. I wasn't going to say I feel depressed or all of that. When you start going into that, you're going to get more of the same, right? But funk, yeah, I can deal with, because that's being honest and true about how I was feeling. And so there's on TikTok, they have this thing called the red nail theory. Okay. Now, the red nail theory is for these women who decided to get red nails, not just any red nails, but it's an OPI nail polish called Big Apple Red. So I bought some Big Apple Red nail polish. And the reason they were saying this is because it attracts a certain man and this, that, and the other thing. Now, I'm married, very, very happily married. I don't want to be attracting any kind of certain man. I got the man that I want. But I thought, how interesting that just that little switch in doing something like painting a nail is going to bring in a different attractant. And so here I am in my funk, and I thought, I'm just going to, I had that nail polish for a while because I thought, ooh, big red, because sometimes I like red toenails too. I'm going to do that. And so I painted my fingernails Big Apple Red. And it helped a little. Every time I looked at them, I kind of smiled, and it made me feel a little bit better. And my whole thing was, it's going to attract me into a different mindset. That's what I thought as I was painting my nails. I did a really bad job, but I did the best that I could. I wasn't going to go get them done. But I thought about that, and I just thought, if you can do that, if this is what, the theory is, it's a theory for attracting a man, how about instead we're going to attract in the things that we want. We're going to make ourselves a little more cheerful. We're going to make ourselves feel something different. We're going to change things up. And that, my friend, is one of the first things that I think is imperative for getting out of the funk. Change one little thing. Change something up. Change something so that when you look at it, it makes you smile. Go take those lemons that are sitting in your refrigerator, for example, and go put them in a pretty bowl and put them out on your counter if it makes you smile. There is little things that we can do to get out of our funk and to shake it off, as Taylor Swift would say, to give us an up kind of day. There you go, Catherine, exactly. Shake it off. Just shake it off. And then the next thing was, as I was thinking about all this funk stuff, this is the mind blower. This is the thing that just made me go, oh, you are kidding me. Okay. You know about this. I've told you about this, SAMe. It's basically an enzyme, and it has the power to change your moods and to impact your joints. Now, I found out about this, golly, how many years ago? 20-something years ago. 20-something years ago. More than that, probably. Anyway, I found out about it from an integrative doctor friend of Marla's and mine, Neil Spate. He told me about this, and he said it is a game changer. As a matter of fact, in the European Union, SAMe is a prescription antidepressant. And I was like, game on, I'm in. So I started it, 200 milligrams. That's what this is. That didn't help me much. And I read that I needed, I'm taller, way more. So I needed 400 milligrams. So I do this every single morning, 400 milligrams SAMe before even the coffee. So the other day, now remember, Mark's been gone for 10 days. So whatever. We were waiting for our SAMe and our proactive probiotic. Looks just like this, came in. And I was like, good, we just ran out of SAMe. I need to have that. And run down, go get the SAMe. And yesterday morning or the day before, I look and I said, "Oh, I need some more." And I look at the box. It is not SAMe. It is the Proactive Probiotic. Now, connect the dots. This prescription antidepressant in the EU, I haven't been taking for over 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'd been taking extra proactive probiotics, so I'm sure my guts really help because I take that at night before I go to bed. But that's what I was taking instead of the SAMe. So 2 days ago, I started taking it, and I'm starting this morning. I said, "Okay, I'm starting to feel like myself," and the joints feel so much better because I get it in my hands, and I'm starting to go, "Oh, what's this is starting to hurt a little bit in my hands." No more. So it's a very interesting supplement, well studied. This is something you can get it from us. You can go get it from anyone, but you just need to make sure, this is the main thing, is make sure that it's like this in a nitrogen flushed packaging, not from a bottle, because then it has the efficacy just poof out the door. But there's several companies that make this besides us, and this is one supplement I would never, ever be without. But isn't that interesting? The funk came because my SAMe was gone. So that was interesting. The other thing that I started to do after painting my red nails was I made a decision that I need to show myself a little compassion. So what if this is how I'm feeling? Allow myself to feel that way. And I wrote it in my journal and just said, I'm feeling a little funky, a little down, a little bit whatever. I also increased my walks. I took Lincoln on extra walks and went extra far to make sure that I was getting outside, because those endorphins, number one, and two, just being outside in the sun and in nature is another way that we can start to take the edge off that funk. We don't want our funk to go into full-blown clinical depression, but the funk, if the funk is there, this is how we deal with it. We call it out too as well. And we say, okay, this is what's going on. We don't exaggerate. We don't over talk about it. And I heard something that I thought was the most interesting thing. I think it was another TikToker, of course, a doctor. He was saying, we have to stop listening to ourselves and start talking to ourselves. And I wrote that down in my journal. Yes, yes, and yes. Because what we do is we allow that tape to play in our heads and say, yeah, I'm feeling down. Yeah, I'm feeling this way. Yeah, I'm doing that. And then we ruminate with it and we allow ourselves to just slide and slide and slide. And what we want is that up spiral, not the down spiral. And the up spiral is doing the things that are going to interrupt the downward spiral. So do we listen to everything that's in our head? Do we believe everything in our head to be true? Oftentimes we do. And that's a problem. We need to call ourselves out. We need to say, that's just not true. It's not always, it's not never. It's not, I can't, it's not, I'm overwhelmed. We need to instead say, okay, I've got these things to do. I'm going to organize it in this fashion. And then I'm going to start doing them. I'm going to start doing these different things. But first, I'm going to go take a walk. First, I'm going to go spend some time cuddling my dog. First, I'm going to go play some pickleball. Then I'm going to call a friend. And then I'm going to just say, you know what? I'm done feeling like this because it doesn't feel good. That's the other thing. Funks might come and they might be, because of this, I don't know. But there's also decisions that need to be made. And my decision was, I'm going to paint my nails red. And these red nails are going to stand for Leanne getting herself out of the funk. Because the funk can grow and fester and become bigger and become full-blown depression and become just really feeling desperate and, your face in the rug. I've been there. I'm sure you have. But we can't do that. We can't allow that if we're going to, well, we do allow that when we listen to what's going on in our heads instead of talking to ourselves. We have the power to speak to ourselves. and to speak truth over ourselves. You know, you have a favorite Bible verse? Repeat it. Repeat it over and over again. Do you have a favorite quote? Repeat it over and over again. How about your affirmations? Get them out. Repeat them over and over again. Hey, Autumn. This is absolutely, these are the critical things. And the other thing is then what else happens when we start to get into this funk? We start to think and rationalize about, well, you know, Mark might have the ice cream in the freezer, but maybe a little ice cream would taste good. Maybe I'd be good with that. You know, normally that ice cream can sit in the freezer and get all kinds of, frost on it. And I'm not going to go after it. It doesn't matter that it's there. I see it every time I open the freezer. But in a funk, I'm thinking, I wonder if that will make me feel better. As if food is going to fill in that emotional space that I have this need hole inside of me, and food won't do it. I know that, but we think it, especially those of us, me, who've had food issues in the past, who dealt with these matters, right? So we need to look at our diets and when I say diets, I'm not talking carousel of crazy diets. I'm just talking about your food in general. Is it supporting your well-being so that you can be well in the way that you think, in the way that you act, in the way that you get on with your day? All of this is supportive, or it's going to come crashing down. We have to look at those things. We also have to look at sleep. My goodness. If we're trying to get by on less than 7 hours of sleep, we are not getting by. And the depression, there's a definite correlation between lack of sleep and depression. I don't care what else you're doing. If you're not prioritizing your sleep, you're not prioritizing your self-care. You're not prioritizing your health. It's just that simple. And we cannot mess around with that, especially if we're trying to heal from something like a funk, trying to get ourselves to the place of feeling like ourselves again. And the other thing is, I went on a news fast. Mark wasn't here. I went on a news fast for 10 days. I didn't even turn on the TV. And I didn't miss one syllable coming out of any of those people's mouths. Not one. I didn't miss the hysteria. I didn't miss the hyperbole. I didn't miss all the psychological bombardment of stuff. I stayed close away from, I curate my social media, so I don't get that stuff either. And that's my choice, because that stuff also, what does that do to my funk? That makes my funk grow and fester even, because it's so low vibe. It preys on the worst part of humanity. It all does. It all does. And I know, we're not all on the same plane, if you will, politically, and we don't need to be, but we can agree that this stuff, this news preys on us. So say no to it. You can. It's easy. That's it. That's me turning it off right there. Turn it off. And then prioritize your self-care. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Do you know how many baths I've been taking? Sometimes I was taking 2 a day. And I'd get in there, fill it up with Epsom, like 4 cups of Epsom salts, warm, and stay in there at least 20, 30 minutes. Not only was it good for my muscles and made me feel better, but I had an opportunity. I put on YouTube. I would put on some high vibe music. There is some, Richter is the name, Max Richter is the name, and most beautiful high vibe music. And I listened to that. I would meditate in the bathtub and just start, just start feeling, the funk leave. And then lastly, the biggest thing too was, and it was huge, it was taking gratitude walks and doing gratitude meditation walks as well. And I did that even with Lincoln. It was, it was a lot, but it was easy to do. And I actually did a video of like, this is my morning. This is how good it feels. And this is me walking my dog. And this is my lake, and this is where my turtle is. Big Ulysses, the big snapping turtle. And this, just all of it, and acknowledging that gratitude for all the things I have sent this overwhelming wave of appreciation, love, gratitude. All the things. And that just helps to erase funk. We have to stop listening to the tape. We can stop the tape, just like we can turn off the television. We can stop the tape and we can just go, pay attention. You're listening to the same thing over and over in your head. How good is that? And what is this? This is how people get programmed against their will, right? Like cults do this. They program people against it. They hear the same thing. They expose them to the same thing over and over again. We do that to ourselves. So if you disconnect from that and say, hey, stop. What? That's not true. Everything you think isn't necessarily the truth. But guess what? You could reset simply by starting to talk to yourself and say, no, but I know this to be true. I know that I am worthy. I know that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I know that I'm here on purpose and for purpose. I know that I am loved beyond all recognition of just who I am, but whose I am. That's huge. And if we allow ourselves to get overwhelmed with that kind of love and that kind of grace and that kind of just genuine, overwhelming care from God himself, the God of this universe, that is where we can rest our souls. That's where the weariness starts to depart. Because that, I think, is part of the whole funk, is the weariness, right? That just, everything's so hard. It's not. What's hard is when we keep listening to those thoughts. We need to start talking to ourselves. We need to start the self-practice. We need to start looking and saying, okay, so what supplements can help me? SAMe, well, guarantee it. Guarantee it. Do some research. Go check it out. The other one that I heard Dr. Amen talk about was saffron. Over 40 studies saying it's as effective as an antidepressant. Saffron, who knew? And fish oil, because it feeds the brain. We have to start really thinking about how can we have some self-care for our brains? How can we have some self-care for just the way that we operate in this world? Let's turn off the TV and turn off the noise and start talking to ourselves. Get out your 3x5 cards, make the affirmations, and start pronouncing the fact that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, the fact that you are here on purpose and for purpose. This is how we live our lives vibrantly, is by recognizing what is stopping us and what will continue to help us to grow. And we can make those decisions. We can make those choices. We can pull the plug of one and plug the other one right in. Because we are powerful. That's how we were made. All right, that's all I have for you today. I certainly hope that you found that helpful. Maybe you need to go paint your nails red. Just asking. I did it. And I just want to say thank you too. I never take it lightly that you show up and that you're here. Hi, Linda, by the way. And if there's anything I can ever do for you, always reach out to me. Send an email to support@savingdinner.com. And I answer every single one of my emails. You know that. Oh, thank you, Catherine. You are so sweet. I appreciate that. Thank you. And I will see you again next Tuesday. Otherwise, you're going to find me in the Hot Melt Sprint group on Facebook. And whatever it is that you're doing, stay with it and watch yourself, watch the borders of your heart expand. Amen. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, You are the author of your own story. Until next time.